The Palace of Justice stands in the western part of Nuremberg on the Futterstrasse. The roof of the old courthouse for criminal cases has been home to the Memorium Nuremberg Trials since 2010. This is an informational and documentary institution with a permanent exhibition at the original location of these famed trials, explaining the history of the site and some of the complex issues associated with it. This is where the leading representatives of the National Socialist system were brought to trial from November 1945 to October 1946 before a specially established international military tribunal. Those proceedings have profoundly influenced the development of international criminal law down to the present day. The trial of the major war criminals was followed by 12 more proceedings, the subsequent Nuremberg trials, which continued until April 1949. These were held entirely before the U.S. military courts. The permanent exhibition deals with the history leading up to the trials, the people involved, and the proceedings themselves. Selected exhibits, such as parts of the original prisoner's dock and historic film and sound recordings, convey a vivid impression of the events. Then the exhibition presents the impact of the trials all the way to the establishment of the International Criminal Court in The Hague. Similar to the documentation center at the Nazi Party rally grounds, the Memorium has become a magnet for visitors. By now, more than 100,000 guests a year from all over the world come to view the permanent exhibition and the trial's historic courtroom, Room 600. The museum's capacity can become strained at times if 2 or 3 rather large groups arrive simultaneously. A number of future changes are planned to address the problem. Now that the courts have relocated to the new courthouse nearby, there is space to renovate and expand the Memorium. The space for the permanent exhibition will almost double. Room 600 will no longer be used for hearings and finally become a site entirely dedicated to remembrance.
Ein großer Unterschied zum Zustand des Saales 1945 ist insgesamt die Größe des Saales, und das betrifft also vor allem die Rückseite des Saales.
It underwent massive structural alterations during the 1960s, but a multimedia presentation will help restore a sense of the courtroom's historic condition at the time of the Nuremberg trials. The first step toward the new Memorium was to remodel a former auto repair shop immediately in front of the museum into a space for various exhibitions and events. Rooms that were filled for decades with workshop noise and gasoline fumes are now the home to Cube 600. Similar to the concept of a white cube, 3 gallery spaces that make no pretense to disguise the building's past will offer facilities for events and changing exhibitions. This new function was launched in the spring of 2021 with a presentation of photographs by Soviet photographer Yeni Calde, who became world famous in 1945 with a photo of a soldier raising the Soviet flag over the Reichstag's building after the Soviet army entered Berlin. Shortly afterwards, he documented the Nuremberg trials and the devastated city.